Recently, I finally played through Battlefield 4 with the help of some friends to keep me sane. The following is a completely accurate summary of the campaign. Trust me, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. The game begins in an overturned car underwater because even 2 seconds into the game, a US Marine can't be trusted behind the wheel. The squad's leader, Dunn, is done for because he's pinned under the seat of the car and the car is filling up with water, so he hands us a revolver to shoot him with. The game doesn't let us shoot him with it, so we do the next best thing. Drown everyone. That's the end of the game. Yeah, I wish. 13 minutes earlier, we're off to a great start as Wrecker struggles with the concept of doors by attempting to push it open. Wrecker mutters his first and only word throughout the entire rest of the game.
That's it. He whispers fuck.
Then I remember that the game is forced to play at 70 FOV, and I get motion sick at a field of view that low, so I force the game beyond its intended field of view by injecting Wrecker's eyeballs with drugs. Wrecker runs through a hallway and comes across a door, but luckily he's more evolved than Blackburn ever was and opens it and any future doors with no issue. We meet back up with Waka Waka Waka, who says a familiar line.
Damn it, Wrecker. I almost shot you in the face.
Because I guess the writers from Battlefield 3 thought it was such a good line that they wanted to bring it back a second time. Law & Order SVU sound effect catches back up to us, and Waka 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 fills him in on what was going on before the game began, and SVU calls the CEO of PETA to meet back up with us. Somehow Ingrid Newkirk climbs up a 2-story building in inhuman time, and we play a point-and-click game with questionable hit registration, probably stemming from the fact that I forcibly changed the FOV, but I'm gonna blame the game anyways. After being chased away by some Chinese soldiers who look suspiciously not Chinese and also shout in Russian despite the fact that they've got Chinese flags on their uniforms, we hump an ammo crate to bring it to climax so it gives us its sweet ammo juices, and we blow open a wall to create a door. So maybe Wrecker has less of a grasp on how doors work than I initially thought. We run across a field and take an elevator that we fall out of because we're attacked by some locals who seem way more threatening than they actually are, and get blinded by some lens flares.
Oh my god. Please nerf the lens flare.
I instinctually put my hand up because of lens flare.
We leisurely walk our way to the extraction chopper, but surprise, surprise, the attack helicopter from literally 10 seconds ago shows up and shoots the extraction down, and we slide down the collapsing building before falling 5 stories and getting crushed under a rock, but that's okay because we're wearing plot armor and can't be killed. SVU is fine too, we just had to lightly molest him and use the power of the Force to cut his leg off. I phase through the door of a car and try to outdrive a helicopter with no problems whatsoever.
What?
We're forced back onto the road, and Ingrid tries to take control of the wheel from me, so I almost fall out of the car, and we crash because we already knew this was going to happen. Also, this took 20 minutes, not 13. We're thrown into the beginning of Bioshock, and unfortunately my plan to kill everyone failed, so Ingrid and Waka 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 survived. George W. Bush lets us know that the bad guy has convinced everyone that we killed the Joker, and then promotes Wrecker to squad leader despite the fact that he doesn't speak and would make an absolutely awful leader. Cut to Ingrid driving in downtown China, where he almost runs over a woman and her kid, because we already knew that US Marines couldn't be trusted behind the wheel. And then we just watched some paranormal shit happening before Ingrid somehow lodges the car completely sideways in an alley. We run our way to a skyscraper and take another elevator up to a cocktail party we weren't invited to, so the guests try to murder us. After taking revenge on the party guests for not inviting us with no problems whatsoever...
Ow.
No,
I can't leave. Oh, and look,
what? The building
does not exist.
Thank God the air caught your fall.
We break into a hallway and meet back up with Alec Baldwin from Battlefield 3, who is just as much of a dick as he was in that game. We murder Thatcher and steal a helicopter, except Alec Baldwin won't let us fly with him because he's seen our track record for vehicles to getting into crashes ratio so far and won't risk it. So we murder Thatcher again and make our way back downstairs to the elevator. We murder our way through some more people enjoying an evening in the park and assert our dominance over a tank, just like in Battlefield 3. Some more paranormal activity happens.
Guys, this place is haunted. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
We fight our way to a boat where more paranormal activity happens. As we make our way out of the city on a boat, the Chinese unleash the power of base boosting. And we fall through the boat.
Yep, and there we go.
Oh.
A cutscene plays where a doctor asks George Bush for more hands, but he won't let her have more because that's really creepy. Wrecker wakes up from a bad dream about people watching his YouTube videos and not being subscribed before running through the ship and getting blinded as we step outside. We meet a bunch of clones and make our way back to Waka 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 and Ingrid, who is taking a shit on the back of a truck in full view of a child, so he bribes her with an apple so she won't tell George Bush. An alarm goes off and we rush back outside to see what's happening, but we can't tell over the blinding light of the sun. George Bush tells us that he's disappointed that we let Ingrid take a dump on a truck, so he sends us to board the Titan and steal everyone's eyeballs for the doctor. Unfortunately, we find out that Alec Baldwin is our new squad leader and we get ribbed for our pleasure to get on board the Titan. After making our way inside, we drop into some water and struggle to make it through this section because it's completely bugged.
Uh-oh, it's happening. Please, please. Okay. Please, please, please. Oh my god, thank god.
We meet up with a couple of sailors who are trapped under the floor, and Alec Baldwin tells us to leave them to die so it'll be easier to harvest their eyeballs, but Ingrid wants to keep them alive to ensure maximum suffering and tries to get them out. We steal the Navy's porn stash and fight our way through the evil lens flares before the ship splits in half and we're crushed underneath a falling plane. After making it to the end of the ship and jumping into the water, we rib our way back to the ship where we crash because a US Marine can't be trusted behind any kind of wheel even if it's not on land. We start making our way back to George Bush with no problems whatsoever.
Oh, come on! And I'm dead. That guy died for no reason. That first guy got shot, but the second guy died for no reason.
Meet up with Miley Cyrus on the way. Alec Baldwin needs a hand moving a piece of junk out of the way, but he gets shot and dies, and no one is sad for him because he was an absolute piece of shit this entire time. George Bush emerges from his bathroom break to find that everyone else on the ship is dead, so he sends us off with Miley to take revenge on the people who violated his safe time to take advantage of him. We invade our way into the city with no problems and steal a tank which we abandon in a parking garage for an LAV and struggle our way through another section. After finally making it to the end of the section, we listen to everyone bitch at each other before running out in a typhoon and getting pinned behind a car with absolutely no negative consequences whatsoever because we're still wearing plot armor. We get inside to avoid the storm and try our best to run away from the squad bitching at each other, but they catch up and we have to fight our way through an airport because we're terrorists.
Remember, no Russian.
After killing Thatcher, we murder our way through the hangar and die a few times, but also some really weird things start happening.
No! Wait, can I get in these? Oh, what the fuck? I'm in a fucking... What? I just got run over by a plane! What the fuck is going on? Door! Yes, I got it!
What the fuck? Oh god.
Miley Cyrus gets in the driver's seat of a buggy and we immediately crash because women can't be trusted behind the wheel. Waka 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 dies and Miley Cyrus betrays us, so one of the engineers helps us get off the tarmac. We wake up in not the gulag and get tortured for a while before waking up again in a cell with Dima from Battlefield 3, except he looks completely different. He immediately breaks us out of jail and murders Thatcher, and we stealth our way through this section somehow and break everyone else out of jail too. We meet back up with Ingrid and murder our way through more prison guards to get to an elevator, so I pull a lever. After murdering our way through more waves of prison guards and witnessing more paranormal activity...
What the fuck was that?
Oh man. No,
Is it that door? It only happens.
Oh, it's that door.
Oh.
It's... Oh my
His
god,
body
what
is falling
the
apart. You mean to say his body is falling
You
apart?
have an
so maybe he went
epileptic
through the door.
seizure.
Oh wait, it's not the door, it's switching to the Rex.
Helicopters.
Oh.
What the
Oh
fuck?
my...
Ah!
We break our way out and Miley unbetrays us and the squad bitches at each other some more before we finally go outside. So I just noticed this while editing, but the gun goes off while it's still pointed at Irish and doesn't actually hit the other guy, he just dies on his own. We make our way across the mountain with absolutely no problems whatsoever and steal a gondola
It'll be fine.
that immediately gets shot down because even though it doesn't have a wheel, it still counts as a vehicle, so we can't be trusted with it. Also, Dima died. Cut to 2 days later where we've stolen a truck. Miley Cyrus guilt trips Ingrid about her family and they instantly become best friends. We park in a no-park zone and get dragged out of our car because they're unhappy that we thought we could skirt the rules. Doc Ock fills us in on our mission and we make our way through a heavily fortified town with no issues whatsoever. After meeting up with Commander Karen, we're trapped in a room with her
Invisible wall.
No!
and have to listen to her bitch at us for a few minutes before we can leave. We steal a truck and abandon it an hour later and we'll never see it again. After murdering Thatcher, we make our way to the dam where we take an elevator inside. We plant a mute jammer inside just to fuck with Thatcher and then murder him when we catch up to him outside. We run across the dam and Wrecker forgets how to use a ladder, so we place an invisible mute jammer and then run across the dam again, and this time Wrecker remembers how a ladder works. Since we're not welcome on the dam, we decide to destroy the entire thing because if we can't have it, no one can, and everyone goes flying and that's the end of the game. Just kidding, everyone survives this with absolutely no repercussions. Karen descends from the heavens and insults us for leaving her car.
Lost the wheels, didn't you? You goddamn boneheaded sons of a
What?
Chill.
So she Metal Gear Solid 5s us and we're flown back to George Bush. We sit and wait way past the drop zone. But luckily everything waited for us instead of, I don't know, the game just forcing us to go forwards to preserve a sense of narrative. We're dropped on the ship and fight our way through a bunch of people before getting jump scared by Thatcher.
Ah! What the fuck? What the fuck?
Surprise Thatcher. Fucking lasers.
After running through some hallways, we open a door and Waka 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 is alive because he respawned, and the writers must have thought that this line was so good that they used it a second time in this game. We murder Thatcher and meet back up with George Bush, and the Joker convinces everyone not to shoot everyone, and Thatcher knocks us to the ground.
Wait a minute, Thatcher's using a laser sight.
He's betrayed everything he stands for.
We get ribbed for our pleasure again, and Waka 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 leaves us to go die on our own, and we drive to a ship to vandalize the sides with a fridge magnet as a prank. We zipline to the underside of a bridge, and the fridge magnet malfunctions, so we have to choose who dies. So we choose bros before hoes and sacrifice Miley Cyrus. Game over.
Here's my real thoughts on Battlefield 4. Fuck this game, it sucks.
You ever open up a fortune cookie and add the old in bed?
No.
What? You never heard of that?
The hell is that?
Oh, come on. You know, like, you open up a fortune cookie and it says, tomorrow you will be reborn in bed.
What's the in bed shit
Come
about?
on. Oh, come on, man. You get it. You know, like you were gonna have a eye-opening experience that'll change your life in bed.
Already had that.
What? No, you gotta add the in bed. It's comedy, man. It's humor. It lightens the mood.
Dude, I had a threesome in bed.
You've had a threesome?
In bed.
What? Where else would you have a threesome?
I don't know.
You know, stagecoach? What are you talking about? Of course it's gonna be in bed.
Maybe in a car.
Could you fit, maybe in your caddy you could fit 3 people in a car, because that's the only car that I know that you could have a threesome in.
The only thing I want my fortune cookie to say is, you will be going home tomorrow in one piece.
In bed.
In bed.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work, Irish. You gotta, no.
You said it's my fortune. I can say what the fuck I want to, I can have it say what I wanted to say, Pac.
It would never say that. A fortune cookie would never say that.
How do you know? Did you make fortune cookies now?
I know that they would never say. It's ridiculous.
Oh, so you're the authority on fortune cookies.
Well, the fortune cookies weren't made for us. They're not gonna say you're gonna be home safe in bed. That doesn't make any sense. The in-bed thing always works with legit fortune cookies.
My fortune says Pac will shut the fuck up in the fucking bed.
Whatever, man. Whatever.